Hello. Today I want to talk about a few features of the Word Home tab. Now, obviously, there's an awful lot of function on this tab, particularly in this font section and this paragraph section here. And most of this stuff is pretty well known. I mean, I don't think it comes as any surprise to anybody that we've got bold, italic, underline, we've got lists, we've got justification, we've got font faces and font sizes and so forth. So it's not that sort of thing I want to talk about. It's some of the perhaps lesser known aspects, things that might have slipped under the radar a little for some people. So, first, start with a fairly obvious one. I suspect most people will know this. Um, if you select a bit of text, a lot of these tools will show you a preview of what they're going to do. So, for instance, if we look at the font color drop down, as we roll over that, we get a nice little preview. And similarly with, say, the background color, that one sometimes works in the same way. And the borders, and of course font face and font size, and the styles themselves as you roll over those, and the list types also, numbers as well. That's quite nice, sort of try before you buy feature. Um, oh, and also this one here, this highlighter thing, which actually hurts my eyes. I never use that. If I want to emphasize something, I'd rather use text color or background color or put a box around it, something like that. But it's there if you want to use it. There's also a few things in this font section that are perhaps a bit hidden away and overlooked. You've got a button here to increase the font size by steps. It's the same increments that you see in the drop down here, and similarly another one to take it down again. There's also this button to change case, lowercase everything for instance, or uppercase everything. And this one, which is a personal favorite of mine, which clears all formatting. So if you've put a lot of formatting on your text, perhaps a nice fancy font color, whatever, you can take that off very easily by just hitting the clear button. Notice, however, that the clear all formatting button does not affect the case, which clearly isn't regarded as a format, presumably. For that, you just need to go back there. Another interesting point in the font area is you're not actually limited to these font sizes that are listed in the drop down. You can type into there. You could put something like, for instance, 300, hit the return key, and you've got some really big text. Handy if you're doing posters or something, perhaps. And again, we can clear that with a clear all formatting button. So that's quite nice. There's also a font dialog hidden under this rather coy little button in the bottom right corner of the section. This gives a few more options. You can set small caps, for instance, and you get a nice preview of that. There's a few other things in there. Also on the advanced page, you can fiddle around with the spacing between characters. This is really nice in headers. I like to put a bit of space between characters in a header for a bit of emphasis, make them look a little different. Looks a bit strange in body text perhaps, but it's nice to know it's there. Clear that again. The paragraph group, fairly well known, I think, most of this. You can quite easily define a new number format by just clicking here, or similar thing for the bullet point ones. You just type something in there, for instance, item number, and that's quite nice. clear that again. There's also a button here to change line spacing and paragraph spacing, but really I prefer to go into the paragraph dialog, again slightly hidden away under this little button in the bottom right corner. You can set the spacing much more accurately here. You can type in a number of points there if you want. You can set the spacing in various different ways. And there's a few other features in here. You can tick this box to keep the paragraph with the next paragraph. You can tick this one to keep all the lines of the current paragraph together. Now, these things are both sort of on a best endeavors basis, you might say. Word will do what it can, but once it overflows a page, well, all bets are off. And it's a good idea to turn those off when you don't need them, in fact. Over here in the editing group, there's a few interesting points as well. There's a basic find function in this navigation bar. Just type something in, hit the return key, pretty straightforward. There's also a more advanced find, which gives you some extra options. You can match case, you can use wildcards, you can even do phonetic searching. No regular expression searching, alas, which is not so nice, but there you go. Perhaps they'll do that in another release. There's also a number of select options under here. You can click here to select everything. That's equivalent to pressing Control A on the keyboard. You can also click here to select objects. Now, objects, by that we mean things like drawing objects and text boxes, the kind of thing we've got here. And it's especially useful to use this function when those objects are behind the text. If I try to select this circle, for instance, it's quite hard. I'm getting the text on top of it, not the circle itself. If I click the select objects option, then go over the circle, and when this selection arrow, this double arrow pointer appears, I should be able to click, and there I've got my circle. So that's quite a lot easier. I'll just turn that off again. Now, we've also got the ability to select all text with similar formatting. What that means is if I select a piece of text, like say, even one word will do, with some italic style on it, I can use that option to select all the italicized text in the document. And there's a similar function actually on the styles. If you right click on a style, there's an option to select all instances of that style. So here I'm selecting all the heading 1s or all the heading 2s, or I can even select all of the normal paragraphs, which is everything but the headings practically in this document. That's quite handy. Then back over to this side in the clipboard group, we've got the standard cut, copy, paste options. We can paste in various ways, keep the source formatting, merge the formatting, picture, keep text only. Those options will vary depending on what exactly you're trying to paste, whether it's text or a picture or a drawing object or whatever. I don't tend to go up there for that much, because if you right click where you want to paste, you get the same options on the context menu with a nice handy rollover preview as well. So I tend to go with that. It's just easier to get to. There's also this format painter, which is a really useful tool not everyone uses, I think. If you have styled a piece of text, let's say we've made this something very elaborate, different font size perhaps, and we don't want to have to go through all those clicks again, what we can do is just select our bit of styled text, hit the format painter, so that becomes selected, then we just go and select the target text, and there we have it. You can also make this option sticky. So if you double click Format Painter, you can then go and drop this formatting into various places. They don't have to be contiguous even. And you can keep going until you click on Format Painter again to turn it off. That's a really useful tool, a bit underappreciated, I think. And last but not least, there's the clipboard sidebar, again off this coy little button. This shows you your cut and paste history. And since the clipboard is system wide, you don't just see items from Word. There's also in here, for instance, I've got some plain text from a text editor. I've got a screen grab. That's a picture item. And I think there's some, yes, here's some Excel as well. Oh, that went into the picture item. Let's put it somewhere else. There you go. And you can paste these, as you see, just by clicking on them. And you can do it multiple times. This is really handy if you've got a number of things that you need to paste into a number of places throughout the document. You can stack them up here and paste away to your heart's content. You can also, from this drop-down menu, delete things out of the clipboard history. You can also paste all or clear all. And that, I think, is pretty much all I want to say about those. That was just a quick whistle-stop tour around a few things there that might not be familiar to everybody. I hope something there was useful, and I hope you'll join me again another time. Bye.